Hey guys, it's Ryan here with DP Marketing Services. I'm driving on the road at the moment. I'm heading to clients to help them get set up on Google Local Services. So I wanted to talk to you about that a bit because we get asked a lot of questions. A lot of people want to know how to get Google Guaranteed, and there's some like pieces of information that people have that some are true, some are like not quite true. So we figured we just come at you, make a quick video. And since we're on the way to this HVAC company's office right now to set up the team, we can walk you through it. Make sure I don't hit people. It's at the front end of rush hour right now, so I'm trying to take advantage of all the space and traffic. Anywho, Google Local Services. If you're not aware, this is a product that Google rolled out in the last part of 2017. And at the time, they called it Google Home Services, and it was like home service business type things. Now it's Google Local Services. I'm sure at some point in the future it'll change. And you've probably seen it if you're in an area where they've rolled this out. So typically if you do a search right now on your computer for the name of your city and then plumber, or the name of your city and air conditioner, the top of your page will be like AdWords, right? You're used to seeing that. But above the AdWords is going to be this Google Local Services section. So if you're in an area where it's rolled out, so it's out in Chicago and Pittsburgh, Denver, Tulsa, they're rolling out in like new cities every month. You'll see all these businesses have a little green check mark next to them saying, hey, it's Google Guaranteed. And what this product is, essentially it's a pay per lead program that Google does. It's different than AdWords, because AdWords, if you've done anything with that, is pay per click, right? It's a different sort of strategy. It's a different approach. Pay per lead, it's closer to like a home advisor. Yeah, sneeze coming on. I think I'm done. So it's closer to like a home advisor. Nope, that was the last one. Hold on, let me grab this over here. The thing about having a mustache is sometimes when you make a sneeze, it gets a bit messy. You know what I mean? So sorry about that. But if you've done Home Advisor, and I don't always have great experiences with it, you know kind of what it's like. Your customer goes online, they get a request, they maybe just want to know more about a service, and what happens then is Home Advisor sends that lead to like 30 people, right? So there's a joke that I always tell people. It's like, hey, if you ever want to get a bunch of plumbers together, send out a lead request on Home Advisor and just wait around for a few minutes when everyone shows up. So Home Advisor, when that one person requests information, they send out this lead to 30 companies. All these companies are charged for that lead, and then they're in a spot where they're either racing to be first to respond to the customer and get the job done, or they're racing to the bottom of their price, so that they'll be the cheapest and the customer will pick them. Half the times the customer's like, I didn't even want all these phone calls and emails, and I didn't want that. All I wanted was just information. And so everyone's kind of in a pissed off spot a little bit with Home Advisor. So what Local Services does, which is a little bit different, is you get your company is listed in the top section of the search above the ads, and it is one customer is one lead to one company. So let's say I go on and I type in Pittsburgh Plumber. You can pick on one of those companies. It shows you usually 3 or 4 at a glance. You can search for more, and those companies are sorted based on reputation. And so like reputation, how many reviews do they have on Google? And also their proximity from the customer. So if I said Pittsburgh, if I search for Pittsburgh Plumber, but I'm actually up in Beaver or Cranberry Township, it's going to show slightly different results than if I were actually in downtown Pittsburgh. But when a customer does that, they can do a couple things. One, they can just click to send a lead request, and it'll automate the request to the company. In which case, the company is billed that one lead, but that customer is doing that one transaction based on your reputation. It's one request from one customer to one company. or they can directly call you. So they can actually connect a phone call directly through home services, so that way they can say, hey, it's one lead coming in directly attributed to that ad. The leads are actually pretty cheap. Most markets are somewhere between 20 and 30 bucks. It can go anywhere to up to, we've seen it like 45 in some really, really competitive markets. And in those cases, really, we find that they're low quantity leads. Like, you're not going to get 100 of them in a day, but they're really great quality. These are people who are actively looking for services like you. They have a lot of questions, but they're prospective buyers, and they've got money in their hand. So it's really good. All right, I'm pulling up to the shop. So it's a really good tool. Now, here's where the guaranteed comes part. Before I get into the guaranteed part, the other thing that's cool about the what it does is if people are on a smart speaker, if they're in if they have a Google Home or Google Home Mini, or if they talk into their phone with like Google Assistant, if they say something like, "Hey Google, I need a plumber," Google can actually automatically connect that person to your company if you're using Google local services. So it'll say, "Hey, we found 3 plumbers in your area. In this Pittsburgh example, we found 3 plumbers in Pittsburgh. All of them have 5 reviews. Do you want us to hear about them, or do you want us to pick one for you?" And Google can actually connect the phone call. It's really cool. So customers don't even type in anything, right? They just literally speak it into the air. Google connects your business to them, and it costs you $20, $24, whatever the price per lead. Everyone in the market pays the same price per the lead. So if you're in Tulsa, it's a different price than if you're in Detroit. But everyone in Detroit pays the same price per lead. So it's not variable like AdWords is. That's just what it is. Now, the Google Guaranteed, Google will offer to give customers a complete refund if there's any issues with the service. So it gives protection for the customers. Now, here's where it's weird. So customers like it because it's transparent, right? It's easy. It's either one click or just they quickly call with their voice. They know that these companies are preferred by review. But the other real thing is that, and what we're doing this morning is all of the texts that would go out to a customer's house go through a background check. Now, that sounds scary and it sounds intimidating. It's a little bit time intensive. It's the longest part of the process. But Google covers the cost. And really, they partnered with Pinkerton. Pinkerton, you go online, you fill out all your text information, and they ask things like, hey, where are the last 10 years of address history, stuff like that. So anyone who goes out there has to be background checked. They ask for your insurance, proof of insurance. They ask for your license numbers. So if you're in a town like Pennsylvania, you have state licenses, you have county licenses, you have city licenses. So if you have all those licenses, Google asks for proof of all those. And so for your customer, they know that you're a vetted company, right? Tech's been through background checks, you've been screened, you've got insurance, you've got all the licenses you need to operate, you have great reviews. So for your customers, it's kind of a great deal. And for you, it's a good deal too. Yeah, there's a few hoops to jump through. We're fortunate that this company's close enough that we can just stop by in the morning when their techs are showing up and help them with it. But really, what this does is gives you access to great customers. Again, not like floodgates of customers, but really good customers with really good projects for you to do. They're not going to nickel and dime you on price. They're looking out for you because you're the best. Not because you're cheap, not because you're budget, not because you're scraping the bottom of the barrel, but because you're insured, because you're licensed, because you have background check techs. That's why these guys are reaching out to you through local services. It is a great program. So yeah, it's important. It's a good tool. If you're in a market where this is coming out, I would recommend getting up. You don't need to hire someone to set it up for you. If you work with us, we do it for you on your behalf. But it's something you can do yourselves. It just takes a little bit of time to jump through all the hoops Google wants you to jump through. But that's it. I hope this was helpful. Thanks for putting up with my sneezing and my morning commute. But if you have any questions, let us know. Leave a comment below. Follow us on Facebook. Subscribe to us on YouTube. But let us know what you think. What have you found Google services to be like for you? Have you found it worthwhile? Have you found it beneficial? And let us know what you think in the comments below. Well, that's it. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk next time. See you guys.